Hey everybody, this is Ozark Prepper 1. It's Saturday. I guess it's October the 21st or something. Or the 20th, I don't know what day it is. But it's a Saturday. And been a bunch of work being done. But in the meantime, I've noticed some things. I've noticed those characteristics in people that go all the way back to that biblical text. And it's that one that said, in those days men will be lovers of themselves and lovers of money. And basically, I get to see that sometimes. These people are chasing after money and the possessions it gets them. I talked to a guy that was retired. He was in his early 60s. But instead of retiring and enjoying life, he decided to keep on trying to make more money. And he still is. I said, you've got a lot of money. This guy has a nice home, nice vehicles, and seemed to have an endless supply of cash, But he wants to make more, wants to get bigger. And I'm kind of thinking that's what that biblical text related to. And it probably goes up all levels of a person's financial status. You have some people in poverty just trying to crawl out of it. And then you have some people that have it all and they want more. And I believe that is our problem. They have it all, but they want more. They found out that happiness can never be fulfilled with possessions. I think it can only be fulfilled with living right and great memories with your family and your loved ones. Your family doesn't mean blood relatives. I would say it nowadays, or all throughout history. You hear stories of brother killing brother. And you hear of younger ones, and they kill their parents. And that was all throughout the 1800s. And there's always some story of a king. And they off their son or their daughters, and there's all over just that lust for power and control. But the moment I talked to that guy the other day, that light bulb went off, and I remembered that verse immediately. And I don't remember where you could find that at, probably in Matthew or one of them. But I see it in the way people live right now. When I was growing up as a kid in the 1980s, I remember going to a sale barn with my dad or with my grandparents. And every small town has a sale barn, a farmer's market of some kind. And I remember everybody that rolled up in those places, they had an old pickup truck, and It ran on gas, and it was most of the time a two-wheel drive, plain as can be. And now it looks as though everybody has to have a jacked up quad cab diesel just to go to town and pick them up a cup of coffee or whatever they're buying. And you're even starting to see this in communities that are not really farm-based. You're seeing more of it in places that are more urban, or more subdivision type people. And they're like they're putting on an act, or they're looking at that big pickup truck as a Mercedes of some kind, or a supercar. That they view that as something that gives them status of some kind. And the truth is, most of your old school farmers and stuff, they drive regular old pickups. Sometimes they never update them for years. They'll never get a new one for 20 years. I'll just keep on driving that old one. And that's a sign of true frugalness and being wise with their money. Because you can keep investing in things all the time like that these newer vehicles are overpriced. And the fact that they give large lines of credit to people who probably don't deserve it should tell you something about our economy. It means they know the ship is going to sink anyway, so they're just playing the fiddle while Rome burns. I haven't been back here in a while. Probably a month or two. Because I never see daylight much. That's why I haven't made any videos. Sometimes I take a casual stroll back here, even when I'm not making a video. And the reason I do it is to see if there's any action back here while I'm gone. If you have a vehicle or an ATV or something, they hear you coming. They don't really hear you when you're walking. But I definitely see that biblical verse coming to pass as we speak. You know, people are definitely caught up in their wealth delusion. Your health is your wealth, and your relationship with the people you know, that's your wealth. Because your money can be gone in an instant, and your possessions can be gone in an instant. Let's say you have a house and it burns down, and all your money's in that house. Well, you lost everything. I'll show you something here. I don't make videos this long too much, but I might as well. If you look through there, you'll see the sun shining really bright in the background. That's a neighbor's field. And there's a pond up here on the hill. But the old man that lived there, he did all that work back about 10 or 11 years ago. And he cleared that field for his cows and stuff. And well, I'll give you an example of greed. His son and his grandson helped him do all that, and was here forever, for like 20 years. And the moment he died, somehow his oldest daughter got power of attorney. And the first thing she did was told them to stay off the property, because she got power of attorney over the dad before he died. And so now, all that work those two guys did was for nothing. And that was all based on greed. There's nothing else could explain that, because we never saw that girl out here ever until after he died. And the moment he died, trouble instantly. And they owned a large, I'm not going to say, they just had a business. And she also locked them out of that business, which is extremely rotten, because she had nothing to do with that either. She basically shut the doors on their business and killed their income. And I know that the son was running the business, because I've done business with the dad, and I'd go to buy something from him, and he'd say, "I don't deal with that anymore. I just have my son handle everything. Just go talk to him," even though it was at his house. So, and that went on for 5 or 6 years. And I would still go talk to both of them. They'd both be there, but I always deal with the son, because he was younger and still interested in what he was doing. So you can take a person and you don't know really what's their agenda is until they get access to a large sum of money or a large chunk of land, and in a situation where they inherit it, or they have a wild card, but they don't know who's going to get it unless the court says. So then what happens is the one who makes the first move gets it usually, or the one who knows the judge, or the one who jumps in there and gets that power of attorney over an elderly person. Let's see what's happening here. Sorry about that, guys. I had to do a little investigating. I find it amazing that I lock this door and it somehow finds its way open. So I just reshut it. It's starting to be a problem. There's a lot of foot traffic up this way sometimes. Let's see here. Where are we at? Men will become lovers of themselves. Basically, everybody became worldly. And I noticed after the 2020 hoax that after people come out on the other side of that, it's like they just started handing vehicles out left and right. Because instead of, you'd see the occasional Richie Rich guy driving a newer vehicle, now you're seeing lots of people driving brand new vehicles, and they're in their 20s and 30s, and that was unheard of when I was young. I don't even remember the younger parents driving anything new back in the day. If say we were kids in school and our parents were in their 40s and 50s, I remember them driving older vehicles, and when they reach a certain age, they'd finally buy them a new one when they felt comfortable doing it. And back then, a new vehicle was $15,000. Some of them were $5,000. I remember vehicles going for $5,000 and $6,000. in the early 90s. Many of you probably remember seeing commercials on TV and they'd say $59.99. It'd be a brand new vehicle, little car or something. And now you see vehicles $50,000, $70,000, $90,000. Big pickup truck. You could buy a supercar for the price of one of those. But that's just unheard of, because the value of those vehicles didn't go up that much. What has happened is the value of that dollar bill has collapsed that much. But they've suppressed that, subsidized that in other products to keep the sheeple asleep. That's why you can still go to a fast food restaurant and you can buy your soda and you can buy your junk food still at about the same price as you could buy it 20 years ago. But you can't do that with a vehicle, something you need. You can't do that with anything healthy, something you need. I've had conversations with folks about the stuff going on in the Middle East. My opinion on that is that's all a bunch of staged propaganda, fake. I believe it's all fake, and I believe we're being played by both sides. It's just theater to get our money. Because the real truth is, both of those groups over there hate us. And they hate us equally. And I bet the ones that we think like us the most hate us the most. You can figure that one out. And with them, I don't even think it's hate. I think it's apathy. We are not even on their radar. They don't care about us. We are just ants to them. As some of them has even said that in their own words. They don't even view us as human. But you get a chance, just look around. Some of you do. You will find there's just as many rich people as there is poor people, it seems. But that's not really what's happening. A lot of them are pretenders. You have a lot of people crammed into one house. You have a husband and wife, and probably a couple friends, and they're all making that house payment to look good. But then you have some that are just, somehow they got a line of credit. But they're living on borrowed time. Because there's no way their regular job is sustaining all those homes. All those nice homes with the swimming pools in the back, 3 or 4 car garages, and beautiful stonework. And you know, I go through places like that, and I see a lot of them. There'd be 300 of those homes in one area, but they're never anywhere near. They're not near the poor people. Once you get into this community, it's like its own thing. And everyone's happy. Nobody has any problems. You don't see anybody seeming too stressed out. And it makes you wonder, where is this money coming from that these people are getting? Where are they getting this money at? Because these are beyond doctor salaries, some of the stuff that I've seen. You know, it may not be beyond 2 doctor salaries, but it's beyond a doctor salary. A double 6-figure salary per year is not enough to sustain one of these homes and the vehicles they drive. You know, and I'm sure there's other people that notices this as I do. I'm sure there's UPS drivers and FedEx drivers and mailmen and people like that they drive through these neighborhoods and they see this. Where are these people coming from? Because we're told in an economy that's falling, they're still building houses. They're still building houses in these fancy neighborhoods. And I would say these homes start in the 8s to the millions. I'd say that's where they start at in price. And hundreds of them per subdivision. And they all are spread out good, where they have a nice big open yard. I have a hard time believing that they worked their way up to get all that. I know there are some true success stories, but in America, we're in a country full of dumb people. So I have a hard time believing that they just worked with their own two hands and built themselves up. Because I've tried that myself. And I've had average success, put it that way. Because I don't chase that dollar though. So I don't know, maybe I'm delusional, I don't know. Anyway, that's it for this Saturday. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Ozark Pepper 1.